I would like to wish you a happy new year. May God grant you a healthy life. May God make all your businesses successful. May you be prosperous. May there be union and love in your respective families and among yourselves. May God protect you throughout this year 2025 and help you realize your dreams. I would also like to pay tribute to our valiant fighting forces who fight with their bodies and souls, as you can see, so that our Burkina Faso remains standing. It is a noble job. The men are integral. Every time they go into battle, they know that some will stay, but duty calls them. This is the job of the army. We are often nostalgic, but those who have the chance today to defend Burkina Faso, we must encourage and applaud them. When they leave, we will not cry for them, but we will pity them on our fate. If we cry for them, we must avenge them. Pay tribute to them as much as you can, because it does not allow anyone to get out of their homes and face danger, knowing that they may not return in the evening. But this is what they do every day. They swore to defend our dear homeland until the ultimate sacrifice, and the fighting forces keep their bet. Today, more than ever, our armed forces go wherever they want. At the moment I am speaking to you, there are several operations through several groups. And we are inflicting colossal losses on the enemy and gradually pushing them out of Burkina Faso. We will win this battle, this war, and we will overcome imperialism, which has activated terrorism in our region, to bring us back to these colonial times, to keep us under their control, to exploit us until the end of time. Africa is waking up, and no one will be able to close the eyes of Africans on our realities. No one will be able to come and divide us, to impose what they want on us. We have done everything to be here today, to speak to you, but also to come and wish President John Mahama a good change.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing fine. Now I'm sharing this video of one and only Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. Now he calls out the Western countries for the atrocities they have caused to our brothers and sisters, and he says this is the time for Africa to unite and black brothers to come back home. So let's watch this video, then have a quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
We wish him a good change because there are many challenges. Many challenges await him. And I hope that you can accompany your brothers here. Pan-Africanism is a rather complex battle, but you, the people, it is quite easy for you to lead this Pan-Africanism well, because the people must love each other, the people must support each other. The problem of Pan-Africanism is very often between us, the leaders, but we will put everything in place so that the leaders can go in the direction of their people, because the people are already integrated. They are Pan-African. If today Ghana decided to bring President John Mahama to the head of the country, it is a strong message. And I wish that you, Burkinabe living in Ghana, you can accompany President John Mahama. The task will be difficult. There will certainly be challenges on the security level, on the economic level. I wish that you can accompany the forces of defense and security in Ghana much as you can, both on the intelligence level and on the economic level, as much as you can. Support them as if you were supporting the Burkinabe armed forces. I am telling you something. The challenges can be very numerous. In no case should you lose hope. You must accompany them and help them on all levels. A nation does not survive as long as it does not have a strong army. This is why I reiterate to you again to support the forces of defense and security in Ghana. They are the only ones who can help the country to climb the economic ladder and to flourish. Then I urge you to love the people here, to live in perfect symbiosis, in perfect harmony, as you are already doing very well. As I said, the peoples are already integrated. The problem is at the level of the leaders. Continue in this direction. Support your brothers in Ghana. Support them as much as you can. And above all, show this integrity. A country of integral men, you must be models. The Burkinabe must not create a problem. The Burkinabe must be a solution. You have always known how to behave well through all your leaders present here. And I wish that this dynamic continues and that you can accompany the new president in his enormous task to revive the country's economy and, above all, to defend this country. We will work together to strengthen cooperation between Burkina and Ghana, and also between the AES and Ghana, because we have many challenges together and we have always been able to overcome them. The arrival of the new president must be a moment for us to warm up these relations and bring them to the highest level. In the coming days, we will be able to see what can be done for the benefit of the Burkinabe, both internally and here. The concerns raised by the representative are current concerns, and I think that the Foreign Affairs Ministry is working to be able to reorganize the diaspora so that we can solve these problems as easily as possible. This is why the councils have been established. And the administrative documents and other documents that you need to express your nationality are being modernized if you follow the news. We used to have documents, but it wasn't secure enough. Today we are in a dynamic of securing all identity documents in the country, but also in space, in the US, and harmonizing them. That's why it takes a little time. But in January, normally a meeting must take place with experts to clarify this issue of identity documents. And we hope that by then, you will be able to have your nationality as it should be, Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is committed to a path that you know, a difficult path, perhaps, full of obstacles. But be sure you should never lose hope. You should never be afraid. You should never doubt, just for a moment. From where you are, we hear your support, we feel it. And everyone on the ground, and the population in the country, feels the support of the diaspora. And we are happy to be able to continue in this direction, to motivate your brothers inside, and that we can together restore Burkina Faso. We have a dream, and this dream will be a reality in a very near future. Terrorism will end. We will develop our country, we will develop our industries, and make it easier for you investors to come and invest in the country in secure conditions and in economic facilities that you want. We have not forgotten this during the last phase of the Forum of the Diaspora. We are therefore trying to see everything that can be gathered to allow you to come and invest easily for the benefit of your brothers. Because we are an importer country, and we keep saying it. Today, the dynamic is to be able to transform our society. You have the chance to be in Ghana. Ghana is an ingenious country, and I think that a lot of technology can be transferred from here to the country. So we are waiting for you. As for us there, we are developing to bring young people back to production, especially agricultural production, and to transformation. Because we cannot imagine that in this 21st century, we will continue to import almost all of our food from abroad. While we have a huge potential, we have land. This year, we experienced the portion that was secured. We are satisfied with the results. This means that next year, if God pleases, we will continue to provide our support to the peasant world, but especially to young agricultural entrepreneurs who want to get into production and encourage these industries of transformation. Burkina Faso will shine. Burkina Faso will be great. Our dream will come true, if God pleases. And I encourage you to stay united. United among yourselves and united with those who have welcomed you here. Be united with your African brothers. We are reactivating the Institute of Black Peoples because Africa has the same history. We are treated in the same way by imperialists. There is no reason that we are not united and that we block imperialism. Stay united, and show your Burkina Faso wherever you are. Thank you very much. I would like to ask a few questions. We pray to God that everyone can return to peace, as well as we did where we came from. And above all, thank you to all the leaders here for the mobilization, for the effort of union that you make between Burkina Faso and here. We are very grateful to you, and thank you for the effort that is made so that the young people that we are stay attached to our culture. This is the only thing that if we lose it, we lose our identity. This is why we have established a day specially dedicated to our roots. Continue from where you are to teach the youth to always be attached to their culture and never lose sight of it. Thank you to everyone. May God accompany you in all your works. May God protect you throughout the year. And may God bring you back everyone safe and sound from where you came from. La patrie ou la mort. Thank you. For this new year, may the Almighty grant you yourself and your entire family a diamond. We dream that these thousands of Burkinabe in Ghana will see you, admire you, encourage you, carry you high and tell you that they are reviving with your arrival. This dream that was still unfulfilled yesterday is a reality today. We now have faith in the future, proud and attached more than ever to our mother country, Burkina Faso. This is why, Your Excellency, I can tell you that the Burkinabe diaspora in Ghana is constituted of a conditional GDP on which you and the whole nation can count. Note that we, the Burkinabe diaspora living in Ghana, we are beyond the GDP concept. For us, it is a duty to defend the country. So we are GDP, Your Excellency, Mr. President. The community that speaks to you today is a miniature Burkina, because it is constituted of the quasi-totality of socio-cultural, linguistic, regional, and professional diversity that we can find in Burkina. Some of our members arrived in Ghana a few years ago
because when you are a coward, all the other vices can be born. They do everything so that we are afraid. They come to our palaces, they threaten us directly or issue veiled threats. Of course, we respond as we should. They try to make us understand. They always give examples. They will tell us, you know, Thomas Sankara tried to do it like that, but where is he? He is dead. The Haitian president tried to do it like that. Where is he? He is dead. Gaddafi tried like that. Where is he? He is dead. These are words that are said to us in a veiled way to scare us. And then, we also often see some young people trying to follow suit or in another way. We can hear them say such and such a person reigned like this, he has the ICC on him, such and such a person reigned like this, he is in prison. All that is to try to scare us so that we become cowards, but I think they have not understood something. When we say homeland or death, we mean we will win. It is not just a phrase. It is not just a phrase, it has its full meaning. We are not afraid and we will never be afraid. They have surely scared many African heads of state. You often see when we speak out or when we have the opportunity to be in certain situations abroad, we often make remarks to challenge African heads of state to wake up and take care of our youth so that we can begin our real development. We are often misunderstood. Some have publicly responded to our remarks because they feel singled out. But I can assure you, youth, that when we find ourselves in the corridors, these same heads of state tell us you are on the right track. This is what must be done so that Africa can emerge. So we ask them questions as to why you do not do as we do, why you do not accompany us. Some tell us that they have thought about it, some tell us that they cannot. Dear elders, African heads of state, from the top of this podium, therefore I would like to say that the African people are the most peaceful people. When you recognize a wrong, you must tell the people so that we are not afraid tomorrow to come out and tell the people. We apologize, we have been compromised, we have ill-gotten gains, we have been compromised by several things, and that we ask for forgiveness and we are getting back on the right track. And to start to really work for the independence of our states and our emancipation. And I think it is possible. If we remain in this position of fear, we will be cowards and history will judge us. Our children will ask questions, our grandchildren will ask questions. We are writing history, and there is no room to buy fear. If our ancestors had been cowards, we would not be here. Remember, I'll tell you an example of the Bamileke and Bassa people, I mean the Cameroonians. The Union of the Populations of Cameroon, who since the 50s began an implacable fight against the colonists. But they were massacred. The French colonial armies at the time poured in battalions of infantry, tanks, helicopters and wiped out entire villages. The most inhuman tortures took place during this period. You can do research on what they called the swing or the Bakassiva. Hundreds of thousands of populations were decimated in this way in Africa because they dared to ask the settlers to leave their lands. This resulted in a civil war that lasted several years. This is to say that people dared, confronted the imperialists with bare hands so that we are here. There is no reason why we cannot confront the imperialists so that our future generations can live. There are many examples throughout Africa of courageous men who refused to be complacent, who fought, who faced it, and let us be worthy of these people. We are their descendants and let us be worthy of them. A coward cannot be worthy. Let us not be cowards, African youth. Because a coward is always a traitor, and that goes hand in hand. And we will do, they will try to scare us so that we are cowards. And if we are cowards, we will betray. We must banish treachery from our habits. Africans were traitors so that the slave trade could succeed in Africa. It is because Africans were traitors that colonization was able to hold in Africa. Let us question history, we will see. Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba was betrayed because he dared to stand up. And these same Belgian televisions came to Congo for some biases extended to individuals in Congo, for an interview or to please their population, and you were able to follow that. Lumumba, he bothered us, he died, we are happy. It is treason.
Now, Ibrahim Traore is the absolute leader that we need in Africa and the whole world. And I feel like this is the time we, the people of black descent, should come together and support Ibrahim Traore. I once in my life didn't believe in the leadership of a military leader. But as time goes, I've seen whatever democracy has done to our countries. I've seen it is through democracy that puppets exist, that it is through democracy that our continent is still the same way it was some years back. Now, everything in Africa has been looted and they continue looting. They have the largest mineral deposits in the world. Mineral reserves, I mean. Without a single mineral deposit in their country, they have no mineral gold mines in their countries. And you know whatever that means? For all those gold reserves in the UK and France, they come from Congo and most parts of Africa. And whatever they have done in Africa is sponsor war and vaccination of our people. So many rogue policies have been passed by our puppet politicians just to support whatever they do in Africa. In the country I live, in a few months, our president was able to sign an agreement with the US government to allow the military to be training in our country. We've seen whatever this has done to so many countries in the Middle East, so many countries in Africa. The military of France have been training in Togo, in Gambia, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and you all know the history of those countries. Belgium army have their camps in Congo. Congo has never stopped fighting. You all know that. I don't say it from a bad heart. I don't say it with maybe anger. No, I say it because it is a fact that whenever they have allowed the Western countries' armies to be in our countries in Africa, it has led to instability. It has led to coups. It has led to so many other things. And this is a way to monitor how the puppets work in those countries so that they do not turn against the Western countries maybe and go to the side of the people. And that's why you will see countries like Mali, Burkina Faso are always on the limelight by the stream media, the mainstream media, saying bad things about them. But there are so many positive projects going on in those countries. They won't report that because they want to destabilize that country, bring mayhem, then sponsor the same mayhem. So it is so sad watching Africans and black diasporians not supporting the good things that are happening in Africa. I feel like when Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traore says that I want the children of Africa home. They have been away for 400 years. Let them come home and invest and have the best of their ancestors' land. Some people won't be, some people are not going to be happy with that. The Western countries and the puppet leaders in Africa are not going to be happy because they know one thing. When Black Americans and African Americans come back home, they bring with them a lot of knowledge that They are not people who will sit down and see you pull their country into mud and still keep quiet, because this is whatever has been happening. In Africa, the mafias have the country. In other countries around the world, countries have mafias, but in Africa, the mafias, who are the puppets, have the country. So they loot, they are very corrupt to the core, but no one can talk. No one can talk because they have the support of the Western countries. They have the support of the United States of America. They have the support of France. They have the support of the UK. So in whatever way you are going to fight for your rightful human rights, freedom in those countries, you are not going to get. It is in these democratic countries that we are seeing the opposers, or those who are against the bad policies in these black countries, are being abducted and killed. But these are still the democratic countries. This is the democracy we talk about in Africa. The democracy that has killed so many people in Africa, the democracy that has made us puppets, the democracy that has looted everything that we have, the democracy that is now bringing global warming to Africa. It's the same democracy. The democracy that supports GMO foods, which are not healthy for human consumption. The same democracy that is now supporting very rogue policies, high taxation of properties. And you want us to support the same democracy. This is why we the young people in Africa and around the world, feel like we need more people of Ibrahim Traore. They come and save our continent, because the last time I checked, this continent is going down so fast. No one is caring about this continent. You want the US to care, or the Western countries to care about Africa? If you don't care about your continent, you must be having a problem in your brain, because they ain't going to care anymore. They ain't living here. They just come to invest here. The puppets in Africa have made our economy so bad, the policy is so bad, in that investors are running to go to the Middle East. And guess who is coming to invest in Africa? It is them, the Western countries. You come to Africa, the banks that we use are from West Africa. Not West Africa, but the Western countries. Everything we use, the clothes we wear, everything, the cars that are manufactured and imported to our countries, we have nothing of our own. So when we talk about this, we become the bad person. When we say it is time for our own brothers and sisters who have been enslaved on the other side of the world for the longest time to come back home, so that they may help us to change the narrative around. No one wants that. No leader in Africa will support Black Americans coming back home, except for Burkina Faso and Mali and some few like Ghana. But no one, because they know the Black Americans and the Black diasporans, our brothers on the other side of the world, are very bright and very aggressive for success. And when they come to Africa and see the same things, see the same nonsense being done to our brothers and sisters, they won't keep quiet. They'll expose this to the world. And even the Western countries cannot allow that to happen. That's why they've made it so hard to get a visa to come and stay in Africa. They have made it so hard and so expensive. And when you come to Africa, the African government will actually mistreat and try to harass you in most countries, so that you'll give up on coming and living here. So I feel like this is the time we should come out, speak our mind, and try and unite Black people, because the Black unity that we've been singing all this long, the Black unity that Malcolm X preached to us, the black unity that Marcus Garvey was talking about of Jamaica, the black unity that Nelson Mandela was talking about, must come now. And this is the time to unite as black people and make it happen for the better of our continent and our countries. Thank you so much for having taken your time to watch this video. I appreciate so much. One love.